Hello and welcome to your daily dose of awesome. I am Debbie Dunford coming to you live from Chicago. Ooh, we have airplanes overhead. So it's a little bit noisy out here. Had to come outside the hotel room in order to get some reception. So apologize, I'll try and speak a little bit more loudly so you can hear okay. But yeah, I'm in Chicago currently at the Dunkley training. And so apologize for the mix-up. It was funny. We went through yesterday and looked at who had the daily dose of awesome, and somehow I missed that I was on it. So yet again, we're coming late, but we're here and we're going to provide you with a ton of great value. So as you're hopping on, go ahead and tell me who you are, where you're hopping in from. Are you in your home state? I am not in my home state, so curious who all is in their home state, who all is traveling, and who is coming to the Chicago workshop this weekend. I'd love to know that as well. Yeah, so let's see who's hopping on. We've got Sharon on. Hello. And Maddie's on. Hello. Katrina's on. Hey, everybody. Chicago has been great, Lane. Yes. Connecting from St. George at the moment. Cool. So you're in my home state. Very cool. Yes. Hey, Heidi, Cherie. Hello, Cindy, Christy. Oh, Sharon will be there. Awesome. So I get to see you in just a few days. That's great. So yes, as I did not mention at the beginning of the call, yes, this is your daily dose of awesome, your 15 minutes of education, inspiration, and motivation. And so excited to have you here with me on the call. Lane says you're barely, near the border. Okay, so that's your home state as well. Cool. And Maddie, you're in Ohio. Ooh, sweet. Only 5 hours away. Very cool. So yes, thank you for hopping on and for being patient. I got started a little bit late. I just didn't check the schedule. That was my bad. So, but I am here now to offer you as much value as I possibly can. So, we're going to talk today about learning styles. And do you know your learning style? And what impact does your learning style have on how effective you are in your business? Knowing your learning style and what your learning style, how that affects your effectiveness. So, there are kind of opposites, 4 sets of opposites in learning styles. So I wanted to go over what those are, and then we're going to talk about how that affects you. So Mario from Quebec, Canada, very cool. Welcome, Mario. So your learning styles. First of all, have you ever heard of learning styles? I think I've heard of them, but maybe not this specifically before. And yeah, it's just 4 sets of learning styles. So they're kind of opposites. So let me talk to you about them. The first one is, I'm sorry, airplanes. It's just going to happen. So because we're right by the airport. So there's active and there's reflective. So you're either you have an active learning style or a reflective learning style, okay? So just think in your head, what do you think you are? And what do you think those kind of mean? The active is, maybe what you might think it is, where you're jumping in, you're ready to just take action right away, without, on the flip side, the reflective piece, without really much thought about it. You're not going to sit and ponder and think about it. It's just, you're going to take action. So if you're more on the side of reflective, it's going to be the opposite, right? Where you're going to reflect and think and sit through and say, think about what action you might take before you actually take the action, then you get to the action. And so, and also on all of these, a point to note is that there's not generally is it going to be all to one side or the other. A lot of times it's going to be a mixture, okay? So on this piece, took a little quiz, and on this piece I was more just a little bit on the side of reflective as opposed to active. So I reflect a little bit before I take the action. But I still take the action, so super important. The second one is sensing versus intuitive. So with sensing, it's more like others and situation and what's going on around you. And the intuitive is more focused on yourself and your needs and making sure you get you taken care of in a way, right? So Sensing, again, sensing is really, okay, so what is going on around me? You know, so the situation that we're coming upon is the workshop this weekend, right? So somebody that's sensing is going to be aware of others, aware of what they're feeling, aware of what they're doing. And the intuitive is more focused on where am I at? Where am I going? Things like that. So again, a mixture is good for both of those, right? What would be the purpose, or what would be effective about having a mixture of each, not just being focused on one side or the other? What would be the purpose of having a good mixture of both? And all of these, by the way, none of this is static, okay? These are learning styles, so it's skills. It's the way maybe you've been kind of not really taught to learn, but the way you've been kind of pushed to learn, I guess, like, or kind of navigated throughout your learning history, right? School, college, however you were taught along the way, that's kind of how partially influenced your learning styles, right? So these are all things that you can learn. Like if you're more, so I'm more sensing than intuitive. And so that's something I can definitely work on. And I actually am already working on that. So that was interesting how that came out for me, because I'm already working on that. I'm already becoming aware and I'm working on becoming more intuitive. Okay, so Christy says, with the sensing, with the second, I'm more sensing, yeah. So Lane says, to better connect with different people and their styles. Yeah, definitely. Making, if you're more intuitive for yourself, then you want to work on that sensing, right? Where you're connecting with more people and their styles. Cindy's saying both would provide value. Yeah. In what way? What way would they both provide value? Christy, yeah, I'm definitely more reflective. Sheree says I take action. She's more active. Okay, awesome. So aware of others' feelings and intuitive is more about, okay, so you're writing down, the notes. Okay, got it, Sheree. Awesome. Sheree says she's more sensitive. So we can connect, so valuable so we can connect. Awesome. Yeah, hi Irene, how are you? Welcome. So next piece is visual versus verbal, okay? Are you somebody that learns by charts? Do you learn by, when you're opening, when you opened a textbook in college, maybe when you're opening books now to learn new things, are you looking at the pictures and charts and really going over those to get a sense of what is being discussed and talked about? Or are you just focusing on the text, okay? You're more of that verbal. Or when you're at a workshop, coming to the workshop, what are you going to be focused on more? Is it going to be more what is being said, or the charts and things that are going to be put up? That will be a good way for you to tell. Just kind of be aware of that this weekend if you're coming to the workshop, or as you're going through trainings in your back office. That's a great thing to be aware of. What are you focusing on? The words that are written, or the drawings that are done in the trainings, or whatnot? What is it that you focus on, and how best do you learn? The next thing is sequential versus global. So again, the sequential, I want to make sure I did the visual versus verbal. Yep, okay. Just want to make sure I explain that. So the sequential versus global. Sequential is, think of it like math problems, where there's step by step by step by step by step, right? So what do you think global might be? I'm curious about what you think global might be to have a global learning style. Cindy says awareness on multiple levels. Okay, awesome. I love that. So if I'm picking up what you're putting down, you're saying these different learning styles, having awareness of of each of the learning styles and having awareness on multiple levels would be effective. So Sheree says she's more visual. Sequential versus global. Okay, so Irene says default is visual for you too. Yeah, I'm super visual. And Lane answering the question about what might global be. The big picture, absolutely, you hit it right on. So instead of sequential, it's okay, here's the big picture, here's the overall, now we've got to figure out the little pieces, right? And the opposite of that is, here's the sequential. I know how to do a math problem, or I know which steps to take, and then I can finally see the big picture at the end of putting in all those pieces, okay? Absolutely. So really understanding, the next time you go through, this is my challenge to you, the next time you go through a training, if you're coming to the workshop, if you're reading a self-help book, or you're reading reading a book on ad copy or something like that, whatever you're reading, pay attention to how you're ingesting the information, okay? Are you, again, looking at the charts? Are you looking at the sequences? Are you seeing the big picture as you're reading or as you're going through the training? Are you thinking about it and reflecting on it, or are you ready to go and start taking action immediately without really much thought put into it? Those kinds of things. And are you focused more on what's going on around you than on yourself? Okay. Hey Sean, welcome. Nice to have you on here. So those are the 4 main learning styles, and how can understanding that affect your business? How can understanding your different learning styles and where you maybe lean more heavily, or if you're more balanced or whatnot, how can that affect your business and how you show up to your business? What can that do for you? How can that impact your business? How can that influence what things you do day to day? Shri is saying, follow the steps versus see the big picture, then work out the steps. Okay, so you're, again, writing those notes. I love that, Shri, that you put those notes in the comments. It really helps others as well to get that big picture. But yeah, I'm just curious, how would that impact you? How would that impact your business? How would that impact your day-to-day, what's happening day-to-day? Irene is saying, I find bullet point text is easier to digest than long paragraphs. Okay, so it's you're seeing the little tidbits of information so you can get that whole global picture. Awesome. Okay, so how, knowing that, Irene, how are you going to be impacted with, and how would that impact your business, and how would that transfer into how you run your business? Oh, you're welcome, Sheree. No problem. Okay, so sorry, more airplanes. And if you're just hopping on, thank you so much for hopping on and sticking with us through the delays. We've just had if you don't know, most of the mentors are here in Chicago at a training with Melissa Dunkley. So it's been a little bit of a mix-up trying to get these DDOAs going, so appreciate your patience. But yeah, that final question, and I'll don't see the answers coming in, totally cool, not a problem. So we'll just run with it. And I also have a delay, so if you're typing in the answer, great, keep going. But because there is no right or wrong, right? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just really just kind of wanting your thoughts. So how are knowing these going to influence you? So, and your business. So knowing what I know now about, for me specifically, my experience with being more of a sensing, like what's going on, being aware of others, those kinds of things. And knowing that I need to work on the intuitive side, and making sure that I have a process for me and I'm sticking to that process for me and my business and things like that. That's something that I need to be aware of, that there's a gap, you know. So if you're heavily more on one side than the other, then there is a gap that can be filled so that you can be more effective. So that you can be more effective in what you're doing, right? So that's how it would impact. It's going to impact you, like if you are active and so you just jump in and you don't reflect, it may be that your processes are not as effective as they could be, and that you could leverage things more than you do. So that reflective piece is super, super important to incorporate as well. So if you're heavy on one side, you want to work to balance and learn the other side, so that you can have both pieces and be more well-rounded, be more effective on both sides. Olive says, great to see you doing the DDOA in spite of training airplanes and short breaks. Appreciate it. No problem, Olive. So Sheree, knowing helps you by processing and decreases frustration level. Yeah, absolutely. Knowing would help you, becoming aware and of where you're at and where your gaps are. Super important for, yes, exactly, learning, knowing a process to change, being able to change that, and yeah, ultimately decrease frustration. I love that you said that, Sheree. So thank you so much for joining me today, and yeah, sorry about all the airplane noises, but you know, it is what it is. Make it work. So have a fantastic rest of your day. Put hashtag value in the comments if you got some value out of this, and then join us tomorrow for your next Daily Dose of Awesome at 1 p.m. Eastern, and have a fantastic day. We'll see you later.